It was a bright and sunny Monday morning. In a small, peaceful town, a little girl named Lily walked into her school holding a bunch of colorful birthday invitations. She was turning 7 next week, and she was very excited about her birthday party. Her mother had promised her balloons, a big cake, and all her favorite games. Lily was a quiet child. She didn't talk much in class, but she was always polite and smiled at everyone. Most kids didn't notice her much. She was not the loudest, not the funniest, and not the most popular, but she had a kind heart. That morning, during recess, Lily went around the playground, handing invitations to her classmates. "You're invited to my birthday party," she said with a sweet smile. The invitations had little stars and cartoon animals on them. Some kids said thank you, while others just nodded. Then Lily did something strange. She walked to the school gate, looked around, and waited. A few minutes later, the garbage truck arrived, just like it did every Monday. The loud sound of the engine made some of the kids turn their heads. The man driving the truck stopped, got out, and began collecting the school's garbage bins. Lily's face lit up. She ran towards him with excitement. "Mr. Joe," she called. The garbage man turned and smiled. He was a tall, middle-aged man with kind eyes and a warm face. His uniform was dirty from work, but he always wore a clean cap. "Good morning, Lily," he said with a friendly voice. "What's up?" "I'm having a birthday party this Saturday," she said proudly, "and I want you to come." She stretched out one of her colorful invitations. Mr. Joe looked surprised. He slowly reached out, took the invitation, and looked at it. For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then his eyes softened. "You want me to come to your party?" he asked gently. "Yes," Lily said. "You always wave at me and make me smile. I want you to be there." Mr. Joe chuckled quietly and nodded. "Thank you, sweetie. That means a lot." Behind them, a group of students watched the whole thing. Then came the giggles. "Did she just invite the garbage man?" one boy whispered. "That's so weird," said a girl with a scrunched-up nose. "Why would anyone invite a garbage man to a birthday party?" Another laughed. The giggling grew louder. Lily heard them. Her smile faded a little. She looked down, holding the rest of her invitations tight, but she didn't say anything. She turned and walked back to class quietly. The kids kept whispering the whole day. Some even asked her, "Why would you invite him?" Lily only said one thing, "Because he's my friend." Most of them didn't understand. Some rolled their eyes. Others just ignored her. Even a teacher raised an eyebrow when she heard about it. At home, Lily's mom noticed her quiet mood. "Everything okay, sweetheart?" she asked gently. Lily nodded. "Yeah, I invited Mr. Joe today, the garbage man." Her mom looked surprised for a second, then smiled. "That's very sweet of you." Lily looked up. "The other kids laughed at me." Her mom took her hand. "Lily, kindness is something not everyone understands, but that doesn't mean you stop being kind." Lily smiled a little. "I hope he comes." The week passed slowly. Every day, Lily waited for the garbage truck, and every day Mr. Joe waved at her with a big smile. He didn't say whether he'd come or not, but Lily hoped. On Saturday morning, the house was decorated with balloons and streamers. The cake was in the fridge. The music was playing, and kids started arriving. Some with their parents, some with gifts. The garden filled with laughter and chatter. But Lily kept looking toward the road. She stood near the gate, holding on to hope. Minutes passed, then an hour. Still, no Mr. Joe. Some of the kids started whispering again. "Maybe he's too busy picking trash," one said. "Maybe he doesn't know how to come to a party," another joked. But Lily waited, and just when the sun began to dip a little, a distant sound filled the air. Not music, not clapping, but the familiar rumble of a garbage truck engine. Lily's eyes lit up. The truck stopped right in front of the house. Neighbors turned their heads. kids stopped talking. Out stepped Mr. Joe, wearing clean clothes, holding a small box, and with the biggest smile on his face. No one knew that what he brought in that small box would change everything. Mr. Joe stood at the gate, holding a small box wrapped in brown paper and tied with a blue ribbon. His shirt was freshly ironed, and his usually dusty boots were clean. He had even shaved. His hands were a little shaky, but his eyes were warm, full of emotion. Lily's face lit up like the candles on her cake. "You came," she said, running to him. Mr. Joe knelt down, gave her a gentle hug, and handed her the small box. "Of course I did. I couldn't miss this for anything." The kids who had been whispering and laughing earlier now stood silently, watching. Some of them felt confused. Some were even a little ashamed. Their eyes followed Mr. Joe as Lily proudly led him inside the garden, where the party was happening. The music continued. Balloons floated gently in the air, but something had changed. Mr. Joe wasn't just the garbage man anymore. Now he was someone Lily had chosen. That made people curious. As Mr. Joe walked in, Lily's mom stepped forward with a smile. "Thank you for coming," she said kindly. He nodded, nervous but thankful. "She really wanted me here," he replied softly. "She talks about you all the time," the mother said. "You made her smile during some very hard days." Mr. Joe looked down for a moment, touched. Then he glanced around at the kids, most of whom were still watching from a distance. They didn't know who he was. They only knew the uniform, the truck, the job. They didn't know the story behind the man. Flashback. 1 year earlier. It was a rainy morning. Mr. Joe was on his usual route, driving slowly through Lily Street. That's when he saw a little girl sitting on her porch in her pajamas, holding a picture frame in her hand, tears rolling down her cheeks. He stopped the truck, got out, walked up to her gently. "Hey," he said softly. "Everything okay?" The little girl didn't speak. She just showed him the photo. It was her and her dad, both smiling, both holding garbage bags like superheroes. Her dad wore the same uniform Mr. Joe did. "My daddy used to drive a truck like yours," she whispered. Mr. Joe's heart ached. He sat beside her in the rain. "I knew your daddy," he said. "He was one of the best guys I ever worked with." That's when it began. Every week, Mr. Joe would wave to Lily from the truck. Sometimes he would bring her a small toy from the recycling bin. Sometimes just a smile. He didn't talk much, but he was always there. For Lily, he became a small light during her darkest days. Back to the present. At the party, Lily opened the box Mr. Joe brought. Inside was a small toy garbage truck, painted bright blue, with her name written on the side in glitter. The kids gathered around her to see. "It's like your dad's," Mr. Joe said. "He used to keep one in his truck. I saved this for you." Lily hugged it tightly, her eyes shining. Then something unexpected happened. One of the boys who had laughed earlier walked over. "Is that really your dad's friend?" he asked. Lily nodded. "Yes." They worked together. The boy paused. "That's actually pretty cool." Other kids started to come closer too. They asked questions. What was her dad like? Did he really drive a truck? Did he teach you things? Mr. Joe smiled. He was brave, strong, kind, always helped people. And then he turned to the group and said, "Don't ever look down on someone because of their job. Some heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear gloves and boots." Silence. But this time, it wasn't awkward. It was respect. One of the girls whispered, "I'm sorry we laughed at you, Lily." Lily gave a small smile. "It's okay. You didn't know." A new kind of party. The rest of the party felt different. It wasn't just about cake and gifts anymore. The kids started including Mr. Joe in games. They asked him to tell stories. He helped Lily cut the cake. He took pictures with her and the toy truck. Even the adults looked on, smiling, realizing how wrong their own quiet judgments had been. By the time the sun began to set, Mr. Joe stood by the truck, ready to leave. Lily ran up to him. "Will you come next year too?" she asked. He smiled warmly. "As long as you invite me, I'll be there." She hugged him again, and he drove away, not as the garbage man, but as a friend, a hero, and a symbol of something far more important than any job title. The party had ended, but the moment had stayed in everyone's heart. Lily waved as Mr. Joe's garbage truck disappeared down the road. She held the little toy truck close to her chest, and though her eyes were tired, her heart felt full. What Lily didn't know was that while everyone at the party was enjoying cake and games, someone had recorded the moment Mr. Joe arrived. The camera caught everything. Lily running to him, the kids' surprised faces, and the special toy truck gift. The video was only 2 minutes long, but it had something rare, pure emotion. One of the parents at the party, Mr. Daniels, was a local teacher. He had a soft heart and a big online following. That night, he posted the video with the caption, "She invited the garbage man to her birthday. What he brought made everyone cry. This is the kindness we need in the world." He didn't think much of it, but by morning, everything had changed. The internet reacts. By 7:00 a.m., the video had 2,000 views. By 10:00 a.m., it was over 100,000. People from all over the country were sharing, liking, and commenting. This made me cry in my car. My dad was a garbage man. Thank you for honoring people like him. This little girl has more heart than most adults I know. News outlets picked it up. It was shown on the local morning show. Radio stations talked about it. By afternoon, Lily and Mr. Joe were everywhere. At school, Lily walked in shyly. She wasn't used to attention. But today, everything felt different. The same kids who had once whispered and laughed now smiled at her with new respect. "You're the girl from the video. My mom showed me last night. Can I sit with you at lunch?" Lily just nodded, surprised, but happy. She didn't want to be famous. She just wanted people to understand. And now they did. Mr. Joe finds out. Meanwhile, Mr. Joe was on his usual route. He didn't use social media, and he didn't own a fancy phone. But at one of the houses, a young boy ran out. "Mr. Joe, you're famous." "What?" he said, confused. The boy pulled out his phone and showed him the video. Mr. Joe stood still, watching. His eyes welled up as he saw himself hugging Lily, handing her the gift, and laughing with the children. He wiped a tear and smiled. He didn't say much, just whispered, "She did this." By the time he reached the waste management office, his coworkers were cheering. "You're a star now, Joe. The whole world saw your big heart. You're not just the best worker. We always knew you were the best man, too." He smiled shyly. "I was just being her friend." The principal calls. The next day, Lily and her mother were called into the school office. For a moment, her mom looked worried. "Is everything okay?" she asked. The principal smiled. "More than okay. We were contacted by a national morning show. They want to fly Lily and Mr. Joe to New York to share their story." Lily's mouth dropped open. "Really?" Her mom held her hand, shocked but proud. "Are you sure?" "They say this story touched millions of hearts," the principal replied. "And they want the world to hear it directly from the two of you." That night, Lily's mother called Mr. Joe. When she told him the news, he stayed quiet for a few seconds. "I'm not used to cameras," he said slowly. "I know," she replied, "but I think this could help people see what really matters." He chuckled. "If Lily wants me there, I'll go." A community inspired. As the story grew, something beautiful happened in the town. People started leaving thank you notes on garbage bins. Some taped small gift cards to them. Children waved at workers as they passed by. At school, teachers held a special assembly about kindness, respect, and the importance of every job. One banner read, Kindness doesn't care about uniforms. Even adults started reflecting. Parents who once looked down on certain jobs now taught their kids to appreciate everyone. Lily had unknowingly started a movement, but all she wanted was to thank the man who never forgot to wave at her. Lily had never been on a plane before. As she looked out the window, her eyes sparkled. The clouds floated like cotton candy, and the cities below looked like toys. Sitting beside her, Mr. Joe kept his hands folded in his lap, trying not to look nervous. He wasn't used to flying, but for Lily, he was willing to do anything. A flight attendant came by and smiled. "Would you two like some juice?" Lily giggled. "Yes, please." Mr. Joe smiled too. "Thank you, ma'am." Everywhere they went, people seemed kinder, warmer. It was like the whole world had watched the video and wanted to be part of the kindness they saw. After the flight, a black car was waiting for them with their names on a card. "Mr. Joe and Lily," the driver said with a smile. "We've been expecting you." Mr. Joe chuckled softly. "I never thought I'd hear those words in my life." The big studio lights. The TV studio in New York was bigger than anything Lily had seen. Bright lights, cameras, people rushing around with microphones and headsets. Lily squeezed Mr. Joe's hand tightly. "Are you nervous?" she asked. "Terrified," he whispered with a grin. "But I've got my superhero with me." They both laughed. A woman with a clipboard walked up to them. "All right, Lily and Mr. Joe, your segment is in 20 minutes. Just be yourselves. The world already loves you." They sat backstage, watching as other guests spoke. The show host, a kind woman with a warm voice, came to greet them. "I saw your video," she said. "I cried. Thank you for reminding us what really matters." Then it was time. The interview that melted hearts. The stage was bright. The cameras rolled, and millions of people watched from their homes. The host smiled. "Today, we have a very special story. A little girl named Lily invited someone very unexpected to her birthday party, and in doing so, taught us all a lesson." She turned to Lily. "Why did you invite Mr. Joe?" Lily smiled. "Because he's kind. He made me happy when I was sad. He was my daddy's friend, and he never forgot me." The crowd softly applauded. "And Mr. Joe, why did you come?" He looked at the camera, then at Lily. "She invited me. That was all I needed." The host asked about the toy truck, about Lily's father, about what it meant to be kind even when no one's watching. Mr. Joe took a deep breath. "I've been picking up trash for over 20 years, he said. "People usually don't see me. But Lily did. She saw me as a person. That's more than most adults ever do." There was silence for a moment. Then the audience stood and clapped. It wasn't just a TV moment. It was a real moment. A human moment. Unexpected surprise. Just when Lily and Mr. Joe thought the interview was over, the host smiled and said, "We have one more thing." A large screen lit up behind them. A video message started playing. "Hi, Lily. I'm the CEO of Tiny Wheels Toy Company. When we saw what Mr. Joe gave you, the little blue garbage truck, we were touched." The man smiled in the video. "We're making a Lily and Joe edition toy truck, inspired by your story. A part of the profit will go to children who lost a parent in public service. And Lily, you and Mr. Joe, you'll be on the box." Lily gasped. Mr. Joe's mouth fell open. "We hope your story inspires children everywhere," the CEO finished. "Thank you for reminding the world what kindness looks like." The crowd clapped again, louder this time. Lily looked up at Mr. Joe with tear-filled eyes. He didn't say a word. He just wiped his eyes and smiled. A bigger purpose. When they returned home, the world was still watching. Their mailbox was full of letters. Some were from kids who felt inspired. Others were from adults who said, "Your story changed me." Lily's school held a special assembly in her honor. They gave her a medal for Heart of the Year. Mr. Joe was there, standing proud. But he didn't care about the fame. He only cared about one thing, that little girl who had seen him when no one else did. Later that week, Lily's mom got a phone call. It was from a national charity. "We saw the interview. We'd like to offer Mr. Joe a new position, working with young people and teaching them about service, kindness, and self-respect. We believe his story can inspire many." When she told him, Mr. Joe was silent for a while. "I'm just a garbage man," he said. "No," Lily replied. "You're a hero." Months passed since Lily's birthday party and the viral video that had changed everything. The world was still talking about the story of the little girl who invited the garbage man to her party and how his gift of kindness had inspired millions. But for Lily and Mr. Joe, things had returned to a sense of normalcy. However, they knew that normal had changed forever. For the better. One sunny afternoon, Lily sat at her desk, carefully painting the toy garbage truck Mr. Joe had given her. Her mother walked by, smiling as she saw her daughter's bright eyes and the way she was lovingly adding sparkles to the truck. "You've come a long way since that party, huh?" her mom said softly. Lily nodded, looking up with a quiet smile. "I didn't think something so small could mean so much." "You changed the world," her mom said, her voice filled with pride. "I don't think it was just me," Lily said. "It was everyone. It was the way Mr. Joe always smiled, even when no one noticed." The letter from the president. One day, Lily came home from school with a thick envelope. The address on it was familiar, the White House. Her heart skipped a beat as she ran to her mom. "Mom, look," she said, holding the envelope in both hands. Her mother's eyes widened. "What is it?" "Let's open it." Lily ripped the envelope open, her hands trembling with excitement. Inside was a letter, handwritten with careful strokes. "Dear Lily, I've watched your story from afar, and I want to personally thank you for showing the world the true meaning of kindness and respect. People like Mr. Joe, and people like you, are the real heroes in this world. Your actions have touched hearts, changed minds, and inspired many of us to do better. I would like to invite you, along with Mr. Joe, to visit the White House next month. We hope to honor you both for your courage and your ability to teach us all what it means to be kind. Sincerely, the President of the United States." Lily's mother gasped. "Lily, do you realize what this means?" Lily nodded slowly, her eyes wide in disbelief. "The President wants to meet me. And Mr. Joe." Her mom smiled. "You deserve it, honey." The White House visit. The day of the visit to the White House arrived, and Lily, her mom, and Mr. Joe stood together, staring up at the grand building. It felt unreal. The gates were open, and a security team escorted them in, leading them to a room filled with dignitaries and reporters. But Lily didn't feel nervous. She had Mr. Joe by her side, as always. They were ushered into a large room where the president was waiting. He stood up as they entered, a warm smile on his face. "Lily," the president said, "it's an honor to meet you. And Mr. Joe, it's an honor to meet you as well. Your story has inspired millions." Lily smiled shyly, but Mr. Joe was more composed. It's just about being kind, Mr. President," he said, his voice steady. "The world needs more of it." The president nodded. "You're right, and that's why I wanted to meet both of you. What you've done isn't just a story, it's a legacy. A legacy that shows everyone that kindness can change the world." Lily's heart swelled with pride. She hadn't done it for the fame or the recognition, but to see how far her simple act had come made her realize the power of one small choice. After the meeting, a special ceremony took place in the White House garden, where both Lily and Mr. Joe were awarded medals for their extraordinary kindness. Lily received the Heart of America Award, and Mr. Joe was given the Unsung Hero Medal, a recognition for his years of hard work and his quiet acts of kindness. The crowd cheered as Lily and Mr. Joe stood on the stage, their hands over their hearts. The true meaning of kindness. Back in their town, things continued to change. The school became known for teaching children not only about science and math, but also about kindness and empathy. Every month, the teachers would ask the children to write a letter to someone they wanted to thank. Whether it was the mailman, the janitor, or the woman at the bakery, they were encouraged to notice the people who often went unseen. Mr. Joe continued his work in the community, but now he also spoke at schools, sharing his story with the kids. "It's not about the job you do," he would say. "It's about how you treat people. You may not wear a fancy uniform or drive a shiny car, but if you make someone smile, that's what really matters." Lily also continued her mission to spread kindness. She visited children in hospitals, shared toys, and started a small organization called Lily's Smile, which collected toys and books for kids in need. Every time she thought back to that birthday party, the day when no one understood why she invited the garbage man, she smiled. What started as a simple invitation had grown into something much bigger than she ever imagined. A quiet moment. One evening, as the sun set, Lily sat on her porch, looking at the stars. Mr. Joe walked up, holding a small box, just like the one he had given her at the party. "You doing okay?" he asked gently. Lily smiled. "Yeah, just thinking." He sat beside her, and they both looked at the sky. There was a silence, but it wasn't awkward. It was peaceful. It was the silence of two people who had been part of something bigger than themselves. "I never thought it would go this far," Mr. Joe said, his voice low. "I never thought I'd be on TV or in the White House. But here we are." Lily laughed softly. "It's funny how one little choice can change everything." He nodded. "It's the small things that count." The two of them sat there for a long time, looking up at the stars, knowing that their story had left an imprint on the world, and that it would continue to inspire others to choose kindness in their own lives.